Alright everyone, here's a funky video, link in the description to a post by the city of Miami. At first I assumed it was satire. Then I looked, this is a verified account. This is the actual city of Miami that's posting this. Miami is holding a gun buyback. Now you see these sporadically around cities, and usually what you get is a bunch of stolen firearms. Because like if you go and get an AR-15, let's say that I go and I buy an AR-15 secondhand. It's kind of beat up. There's no mag, there's no attachments or anything. It's a very basic model, beat up, used. I'm going to get more than $150 for that if I sell it to a private individual or even to a gun store. You're still going to get hundreds more than that. So what you end up getting is people who can't really sell the guns unless it's, a cash-only purchase and they're part of the criminal underworld. They've got connections out of the back of a van in a sketchy dark alley filled with empty heroin needles, maybe. They can't sell it in the normal way, so they'll go to the buyback and say, well, I stole, 3 shotguns from this pickup. I can get $100 a piece for them. Yay, I can go buy some more crack. I can go buy some fentanyl or something. Miami's holding a gun buyback. Now, they're excluding 3D printed and homemade guns in general. Not without good reason, because people keep showing up with pieces of wood glued to fucking smoothbore pipes with a primitive triggering mechanism saying, well, this is basically a shotgun by ATF classifications. Give me my $100 gift card to McDonald's. And it's very, very funny. They've excluded that. But where are they sending the guns? They've decided to have a benefit drive of sorts. They're sending the guns to Ukraine. Now, can I please ask, how many Ukrainians do you think need a .22 revolver or something like that? You're going to get mainly cheap guns in here, beat up old shit, and stuff like that. Why do they therefore throw Ukraine into it? It's because they're hoping to get people that are like, I don't know, gun skeptics that have daddy's gun from 50 years ago or something and happen to be liberal voters. I guess the idea is some of them will turn in the weapons. The Ukrainians are getting Stinger missiles and Leopard tanks and everything else under the sun. Fucking air support, fucking recon, body armor, med kits, MREs, staple goods. We've pumped Ukraine more full than we pumped Afghanistan full at the end of the 70s and into the early 1980s when the Soviets were harassing them. If Ukraine manages to prevail, it'll collapse back into complete corruption, and pretty soon you'll have gun tourists going there to buy crates of hand grenades and go fuck around at the range. You can, by the way, do this in Cambodia. You can do this in Afghanistan as long as you don't end up being beheaded or something for blasphemy or whatever. I suppose that to people with enough money to make sure they have a security detail, it's probably a pretty sweet time because it's cheap. You can rent a machine gun in these countries. Probably buy a tank if you wanted to. It'd be a lot cheaper than the ones that you get on a more legit market. So they're sending the guns to Ukraine. I'm sure a Ukrainian soldier, the first thing they think of when they want, something to go and fight the Russians with is, your 50-year-old hunting rifle that you got $150 for. Yay! By the way, it's funny because they mention high-powered rifles and stuff, and they'll pay $150 instead of $100 or just $50 for a regular firearm. But they mention the lowest powered reasonable calibers, 223 and 5.56. Why don't you mention 308? Is it because no legitimate individual that has half of their sanity is going to accept $150 for such a weapon? Hell, again, even the most beat-up AR-15 is worth more than that. I would be surprised if you didn't have some gun store set up a little tent next to this buyback and say, don't sell it to them. We'll buy it for way more than that. We'll pay you double what they are offering. We'll give you $200 for a shotgun. We'll give you $100 for basically anything under the sun. And we will take airsoft and tasers and homemade guns and things of that nature. They probably will. And they'll make bank doing it too because they'll still be underselling. But more clueless individuals will go there and see that they can get double, and they'll think that it's a sweet deal even if they're still getting paid 20-30% under spot. And that will happen. I wish them well, I suppose, in their anti-Second Amendment crusade here, but mainly what you're going to get is stolen weapons. So a legit weapon that was stolen from someone's trailer all of a sudden is getting sent to Ukraine instead of being repatriated back into their hands, I suppose. By the way, wouldn't that set up a legal problem? Let's say that I have an AK-47 hanging on my wall, and someone stages a home invasion, says, yeah, jackpot, they grab the AK-47, and then they sell it to the cops here. Now, it can be traced, the ownership, back to me. Am I going to get my firearm back? Am I going to be able to expect that the police have documented who sold it to them so that I can have them prosecuted or litigate against them in some sense? Now, I don't believe that that's how it works. Mysteriously, apparently, it just disappears and the person gets rewarded for having broken into your home. And now you've got to go and spend another $1,500, $2,000 on the same weapon. It's completely asinine. I would like to see DeSantis. Red flag DeSantis, so I don't have much faith that this will happen. I'd like to see him come out and condemn these local buybacks. Even ban them, potentially. No, we're not going to have buybacks at all. The Second Amendment is sacrosanct and leave people alone. You're just buying stolen weapons. You're probably encouraging people to break in and steal guns from people, which, by the way, is not a great idea. The last house on the block that you want to try to kick down the door of is probably the one with the Gadsden flag outside and the meme poster on the door that says trespassers will be shot, survivors will be shot again. That's probably not the house that generally is going to get broken into. There's a lot of good loot inside. You probably don't want to deal with the repercussions. And some of these crazy survivalists probably leave a bear trap by their front door anyway when they go out to the store. So be very wary of these people. I would choose the home that says gun-free zone on the front door. It might be less lucrative, but at least they probably have some NPR shit or something in there. They have a collection of Funko Pops. Those are really popular on the black market, I'm sure. They probably stuff them with cocaine and traffic them. I'm just looking at this and thinking, what moron dreams up a situation where you say, we're keeping our streets safe by getting these guns off the streets, and then we're sending them to streets in a third world nation known for extreme corruption in which there's an active war zone. And the problem is, they're not military-style weapons. None of these weapons are going to be serviceable unless they're modified. No, the 380 Glock sidearm that you have is not going to be used in a war zone. I'm sorry, but while it can kill a person, it's not going to be very useful. The smaller caliber weapons here will probably end up getting used by starving Ukrainians just to hunt small game because the Russians took their grain away or something like that. Be like Soviet times. They'll be hiding the .22 Prairie rifle under the floorboards. Oh, thank goodness. Some stupid American in Miami accepted $50 for this gun. That's about all. Peace out.